Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name's Harvey Young and I just want to give you a brief overview of what my channel is going to be about. It's mainly going to be about orchids, tropical cacti, houseplants and possibly reptiles if you want me to. I do keep a lot of reptiles myself, so if you want me to do some videos on reptiles, comment down below, let me know. But today I want to start off with showing you some of the things that are in bloom at the moment. So, I've got my Dendrobium baryota, which is, I think, a cross with a kingianum and something else. Dendrobium kingianum and something else. Not too sure. But, yeah, so this is Dendrobium baryota. It is an amazing bloomer. It's got another spike coming up here. Right here, I don't know if you can see that, hang on. Right there. And it's got many other spikes coming up. It is an amazing bloomer, and it's not like with the kingianum where you have to give it a cold winter rest or anything like that. It will just keep blooming for you. Obviously, it will have a growth period, but for the most part, it is just going to be blooming. And it does smell like, well, Miss Orchid Girl, Danny, described it as like a honey and rose kind of scent, and I would say that's pretty accurate. It is an amazing smell. I mean, it's not something that you could smell from a while away, it's something that you'd have to put your nose up to. But these blooms are really amazing. Like, those colours are just amazing. And I've noticed that they tend to wash out after they open up. So they start off really quite purple, like, as you can see, maybe this one's just opening up. And, oh, yeah, there we go. This one's just opening up. And that's really quite purple, and then they start to wash out a bit. But overall, it is an amazing plant to keep. I would definitely recommend it. Second thing in bloom is my Oncidium sotuanum. Now, I first saw this on Rachel at Gardening at Duence's channel, and that really inspired me to go out and get one, because this is really, it is an amazing plant. It's the first time it's blooming for me, and I have to say, the smell is absolutely amazing. It's somewhat vanilla, but also kind of spicy. It is, and you can smell it, it will fill a room. On a bright sunny day, the smell can fill a room. And it is really just a centerpiece plant. Like, you can see all these blooms, and as the plant gets bigger, it will just bloom more and more and more. It really is an amazing plant to keep. And I've got it in this tiny little shallow pot with some sphagnum moss up around it, just keeping a bit of extra humidity, because these guys do like it wet. But yeah, no, really amazing sprays of flowers. They do start off a lot darker, and then they do, much like the baryota, start off a lot darker, and then do kind of wash out. I don't know if you can see this, but right up here at the backs, these are some of the older flowers, and they're more kind of whitish pink, and these ones have just opened up in the past week or so. They really are amazing, and I believe that this is possibly one of the parents for Oncidium twinkle as well. So it is an amazing plant. I'd definitely recommend it. Definitely recommend getting it. So yeah. Alright, so let's carry on with the main part of the video. It's going to be about propagating things like Slumbergira, cactus, Hylocereus, and Epiphyllum. So, with these cacti, they are all epiphytic cacti. And what epiphytic means, or epiphyte, is what you'd call a plant that is epiphytic, is they like to hang on to trees. Now, they're not a parasite, because a parasite sucks energy from its host, whereas epiphytes just hold on to the host and use it as an anchor point. Yeah. I don't know how else to explain it. But yeah, so as you can see, it's sending out all these aerial roots. Now, with these aerial roots, when you're making cuttings, you don't want to bury these aerial roots because they will rot, because they are used to growing in the air. And if you put them in soil, they will rot. So when you're taking the cuttings, you want to find an older part of the cactus, maybe like this, like somewhere down here. And you just want to cut it off wherever you want. And I like to cut it off right at the base here. And then I can make one or two cuttings out of this long bit here. Now, A lot of people like to let them dry out for a while. I'll let them dry out for a day, but I won't let them completely callus over. And a lot of people would advise against that. But me personally, I've had great success. This is one I took a little while ago, and it's just this bit. So down into the pot, and this bit is the bit that I took off the cactus, and this is a few weeks of growth. So if you give it as much sunlight as you can, it's going to send out these lovely big fat growths. Or if you don't give it enough sunlight, as you can see up here, because this bit was actually shaded by my Monstera deliciosa, and this came out quite thin. So what you want is to give it as much light as you can, preferably a south-facing window if you can. Obviously, it's not vital, but you know, because as soon as it comes around to summer, you can put it outside and, I don't know, like a little makeshift greenhouse. You can buy little plastic greenhouses for a tenner, so it's honestly not that bad. Here's another that I took at the same time. It took a little while to get going, but this is a great example of what you're going to start to see. See this up here? That bit is what you're going to start to see when you see new growth. They're going to start off a bit purple, especially on the Hylas areas. They're going to start off purple, and then they're going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. They're going to look like this, and they're going to look like this. And all this nice, lovely, new green growth, you do not want to cut this off for cuttings, because it is just new growth. It can't support itself. So you want to find like a nice bit of nice bit of old growth like this. And keep in mind, cacti will put out new roots from nodes, so you want to check for nodes. Obviously, all along here, those are all areoles, those aren't nodes, but they will also send out roots from the bottom of the cutting. So yeah, so with these guys, you just want to keep them kind of moist, but not soaking wet. You kind of want to give them a bit of a spray, but if you can't do that, just run a tiny bit of water over them. You don't need any fancy equipment or anything like that. And then after you feel like you can pick it up, or you can see roots coming out the bottom of the pot, like you can see there, then I would start watering properly, and to really get that new growth going, strong. Okay, and that's pretty much it for the Hylocereus. They are just, as I said, they are tropical growing cactus, so you do need to keep them a bit more wet in the summer, but then in the winter you can slow down on watering. So next I'm going to talk about the Schlumbergera cacti. Now these guys, they will put out, like I said, all cacti will put out new roots at a node. So as you can see, that's a node, and then that down there is a node. So wherever one leaf, I'll call them leaves for now, but one leaf connects to another, that is a node. And they will put out new roots from each node. So this is important to think about, especially when you're potting them up, because these are some I potted up a while ago. They will put out roots from each node. So they'll put out roots from there, from there, from there, and you can actually see it's got some new growth on it now. These are the cuttings that I took like a couple weeks ago. And actually this one's already in the pot and, quite settled now. But they'll put new roots out in those from those nodes. So what you can do is do what I did here and stick it into the compost, or you can just lie them down on the compost. Sorry. So yeah, you can either just lie them down the compost or stick them into the compost. It's completely your choice. They both work just as good as each other, so it's completely up to you. Pretty much the same thing with the Hylocereus. You just need to not keep it soaking wet, just a bit damp. Alright, so what I want to talk about next is epiphyllum. Now, I'm going to take this out because I know it's got no roots. So this is a cutting that I took from a friend's house, and I'm not too sure what it is, like as in species-wise, but I know it's something. But anyway, so they'll put out new roots from down here, right down here, where you've taken the cutting, just like the Hylocereus. So they're going to put out new roots from there, or wherever you take a cutting. So with this cutting, I could cut it at a slant there, and then put that bit in the soil as well. But I want to have one nice healthy growth, so I'm happy with just this. So you just put that in some soil. Keep in mind that new growth will come from any of these little areoles here. I think they're called areoles, I don't know. All these bits, and new growth could come from any one of them. So you really don't want to bury them too deep. I would say maybe bury it to there. And that's pretty much it. Once you don't keep it too wet and you keep it slightly moist, just enough to keep the humidity in, because that's what's really going to spur the plants on to put down roots. And then after that, you just water them the same way you would any other time. So yeah, so that's it. If you want to see more videos like this, like, comment, subscribe, and I will be putting out new videos hopefully every week or so. But if you do want to see more like that, please do subscribe, because that's, if I don't get any subscribers, I probably won't make any more videos after a while. But yeah, so if you like this video, like, subscribe, comment, please. Okay, alright, bye.